I was just having a conversation with the man that was here this morning, and we discussed about love at first sight and momentum. To have an experience of love at first sight, do we have to practice it? Do we have to build the momentum, and does the woman has to do the same, so that when the two persons meet, then there is this love at first sight that will last?
Perfect description.
Yeah.
In other words, two people tuned into who they really are. Law of attraction bringing them together because of their vibrational equivalency, and because of their alignment, each recognizing the other. Love at first sight.
But both have to practice it? Or the question is, or if someone just, because you see, it doesn't matter what the other thinks, doesn't matter what the other person, if you perceive it this way, if you think this way, and if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then, you see, that's the question. Then you will meet that stronger, I mean, your power of influence will be so strong that you will attract her.
The piece that is important is that law of attraction is bringing you together because of your vibrational equivalency. So if you're there and she isn't, law of attraction is not going to bring the two of you together. It is a possibility that you could have practiced yourself there and you could be consistently there, and the other is occasionally there and just happened to be. And law of attraction says, quick, while she's there. And now you have a connection, but it may not be lasting because she hasn't practiced herself into a stable vibration there. We would say that 85, 92, 7, 9% of relationships are like that, where one more than the other, you come together, you don't maintain it, and then you don't like each other very much for very long.
And is it that if the person really always recall, because what happens in most relationships when it's over, people talk about the reason why it stopped. But if we don't do that, only recall the good reasons and the good souvenir, then you build that momentum and you build it?
Precisely.
Is that the way?
You practice yourself into a chronic habit. And then you have a consistent vibration that of course will dip occasionally, but you're usually there. So then the odds are, since you're there more, that law of attraction will find others to match you with.
So the idea is never to talk about anything else.
The idea is to understand that you are a vibrational offerer and to do your best to offer the vibration that will yield to you experiences that you want. Our friend was talking a little bit ago about the other shoe dropping, having an experience that she did not want to have, where she experienced negative emotion. But we would like all of you to leave this gathering at the end of this time together, no longer condemning yourself for your negative emotion, because it's all part of the process. You just want to do your best to keep, let's talk about it in this way. So we've been offering in past the story about the merry-go-round in the playground, that the kids are already on it, they've already got it going rather quickly, and you want on, but you can't get on because when you try, there's too much momentum and you just get bounced off in the bushes. Now, if they'll slow it down, then you could get on and then you could speed it up and it could be great fun. So now we want to expand that visual by saying, let's say that you're feeling really, really good. You've been basking, you've been making lists of positive aspects, you've been doing rampages of appreciation, you've been pampering yourself, you went to the beach, you went to the spa, you ate good food, you're feeling really, really good. And so your vibration is in a very high-flying, good-feeling place. So let's take that mental picture of that spinning disc, and let's call that your disc, and you're on it. You're feeling great. Now there's another very needy person roaming around the pool, trolling for a man. She feels lonely, she feels rejected, and she's mad as hell and she's not going to take it anymore. So she's moving around. Law of attraction is not going to put her anywhere near your vicinity. In other words, she might see you, but you won't see her. She might talk to you, but you won't hear her. In other words, she's not getting on your wheel. She's not going to get on your wheel. But let's say you woke up, you didn't have any hot water, you felt annoyed about one thing or another, you didn't take any time to tune yourself in, you got an email about something that's been bothering you, you found that subject and focused upon it, you called someone and talked to them about it, you managed to get yourself in a sort of funk, and so you're not up here, your disc, your wheel, your vibrational state of being isn't there, your point of attraction, let's call this your grid disc. So it's spinning here. You're ornery, you're annoyed, she's lonely, she's jumping on your wheel, she is. And the way you feel, you can't even tell it's a mismatch. Because it isn't. She looks great. Where have you been all my life? Because you can't remember how you were, you only know how you are. And law of attraction is not factoring how you have been in either. Law of attraction is factoring in how you are. Ooh. But how you are has a lot to do with how you've been, because you've been practicing yourself into that. In other words, you don't stay up here all the time, but you don't go here. Well, not usually. There are extreme situations. You're usually in the vicinity that you hang out, and so are those who are finding you, you see. So it doesn't matter. We don't want to give you the impression that we are laying any judgment about where your wheel is spinning, whether it's in the high-flying, good-feeling places where the world looks beautiful, or in the low-flying, not-so-good places where things don't look so good. We just want you to know that how you feel and who jumps on your wheel are about the same thing. They're about what you've got going on.
But in this case, you're talking about it won't last. Because it's not serving the intention.
The thing is, there are a lot of people who jump on those low-flying wheels and they bang it out together for years and years and years. They're right for each other. They're right for each other. They're miserable, but they're right for each other. You see. So when you talk about something lasting, the only thing that we would focus on, that we would want to be everlasting, is our awareness of our own alignment. And if you are tending to it as best you can, and your partner or whoever you're co-creating with it is tending to it as best they can, you're going to have lots of wonderful moments. And remember, you're not looking for a partner. This is really an important thing to acknowledge. First time we've ever been able to say it this clearly. You're on your wheel. You're feeling really good. You want a partner, but that partner is not essential to your well-being. You've already got that. You've already got well-being. And your partner's not needing your well-being. You're already self-sufficient in the alignment department. And now when you come together, it's just delicious on so many levels, you see. But people who are vibrating on these lower discs, feeling needy or feeling unloved, they keep needing each other in order to validate their existence, and that's what doesn't usually work out very well. They're looking for love in all the wrong places. Now, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we'd take it where we find it. In other words, we would take it where we find it. We would not say, law of attraction, hold off on matching me up with anything, because law of attraction is not going to hold off on matching you up. Law of attraction is matching you up with what you've got going on. We would watch the evidence of what's matching up in order to evaluate where our disc is. And then we would take that information and work on getting our disc to fly.
But between the two, working to have this disc really high and thinking about love at first sight, then
Maybe you can't.
You go there first, because this will bring it or not.
Love at first sight. In other words, what if the person who has the greatest potential of ringing your bells and living happily ever after with you is having a bad day? So it's not love at first sight, it's you're having a bad day. Don't place those restrictions on yourself. Just focus on what you're doing vibrationally and trust that law of attraction will support you with what you're doing vibrationally. And then make your evaluations about how you're doing based upon how you feel and what's coming to you. And then adjust accordingly. Those are really good instructions. Adjust accordingly. People floating into your experience that you're not enjoying so much, they're complaining all the time, they're unhappy, they're looking to you to buoy them up. You might want to change your vibration, because they didn't get there accidentally. They got there because there's a significant amount of your vibration that matches their vibration. You see. So if you don't like what's coming, you got to change your altitude. And you're the only one that can do it. But most people say, well, I'll change my altitude, but somebody needs to hop on to help me. And we say, everybody who hops on is right about where you are. Even in that high-flying place, you're still, you're still reaching for more. So you might want an occasional shoe to drop.
When you say adjust accordingly, in my case right now, I have this woman that I like as a friend, and I don't have sort of the emotion I'm looking for, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So how can I adjust accordingly right now?
By looking for positive aspects, by appreciating the information that it's bringing back to you, by positive aspects really is the best way, by looking for things to appreciate, and by not letting that person be your only object of attention. You see, this is a misunderstanding with a lot of people. When you are vying for a magnificent relationship, you can be on a high-flying disc, never even thinking about a relationship, and the perfect one will come to you. Because you didn't tell the vortex, you didn't feel your vortex full of all of the details of it just now. You've been telling the universe what you want over a long period of time from many different circumstances. So the request is already in place. And that vortex, we've been pointing at it here for a visual, it's really there. In other words, your vortex is there. It's up there in that high-flying space. So now, anytime you adjust your vibration upward, now you're approaching and making more accessible to you the filling in of your grid with things in the vortex that are a vibrational match to what you want. Is that a logical understanding? The thing that goes wrong with most people is that they really are looking to others in order to raise their vibration. That's going about it backwards. And that's what we mean by having knee-jerk responses to life. If you'll be wonderful, then I'll focus on you and I'll feel good. But you got to be wonderful before I can feel good. And we're talking about getting out ahead of manifestation. Now, you're already way out ahead of manifestation because you've filled your vortex. You've filled your vortex full of all kinds of things that you want. And now your singular day-to-day activity is all pointed toward what's the best feeling thing I can do right now? What's the best feeling thought I can think right now? What's the best I can do for myself? How is my best opportunity to align with the source within me? That's the partnership I'm really reaching for. That's the partnership I'm vying for. And once you achieve that partnership, then everything that's in the vortex with that partner of yours can now flow into a manifested form. In other words, you will begin to realize that.